Diabetes is a debilitating condition and it's reaching epidemic proportions in Australia. Nearly 300 new cases are diagnosed every day. There are diabetes hotspots across Australia where type 2 or lifestyle diabetes are all too common. 730's obtained results of a study done in one hotspot, Western Sydney, and the results are alarming. Tracy Bowden has the story.
Favourite foods is Kentucky, pizza, potato chips, the sweet chilli potato chips, cheesecake.
Gail Smith loves fast food.
You know you're having too many chips, you know you're having that piece of cake that you're not supposed to have, you know you're buying takeaway 3 times a week because you don't feel like cooking.
The harsh reality is that Gail Smith was eating herself to death.
I was slowly going into a coma. I could feel myself dying, and I could hear them say, don't close your eyes, keep your eyes open or we'll lose you. I'm full-blown type 2 diabetes with insulin, so I've stepped past the diet and I've stepped past just taking a pill to control. I'm full on 4 times a day insulin injections.
Gail Smith is not alone. She lives in what's called a diabetes hotspot in Sydney's west. 730 has been given access to the alarming results of a 6-week study at Blacktown Hospital. Every patient who had a blood test in emergency was also tested for diabetes.
We found that 40% of them had diabetes. And of those tested and had diabetes, a third of them didn't know that they had diabetes.
Not only did close to 40% of patients have diabetes, almost another third were pre-diabetic. Incredibly, only 34% of those tested showed no sign of diabetes.
This reinforces to everyone the epidemic that's happening in Western Sydney.
What's happening in Western Sydney is reflected in pockets across the country. This map, compiled by Diabetes Australia, shows hotspots in regional and rural areas and in cities. The common factor is disadvantage.
The disadvantage can be geographic, access to services. It can be financial and economic disadvantage. And of course there is a correlation also with certain ethnicities and populations.
Income, culture and exercise are all factors in type 2 diabetes. So is diet. You only need to drive through Gail Smith's suburb to get an idea of why there's a problem.
People are not eating fresh fruit and vegetables. In fact, fresh fruit and vegetables is not available within an easy walking distance. But there is a high concentration of fast food. So it's a little bit to do with affordability, but it's also to do with convenience and choice.
Is it difficult to get fresh food close to home?
Yes, it is, because it's all, you have to drive. The closest is a 10-minute drive.
Diabetes can lead to serious medical complications. Every week, 70 Australians lose a limb as a result of problems caused by poor circulation.
So all good to have a look. That's it. Check your suture line. Make sure there's no red areas or skin breaks.
The family, I've got a history, with diabetes. Mom, dad, my brother, and my sister,
So, shorter step with the prosthesis and a little bit longer stepping through. That's it.
My brother, he lost a leg, but I never thought it would happen to me.
Big step with your left. That's great. Okay. Yep. Now you can push up. Big push. That's the way. Good. Okay.
Teresa Camilleri was confident she was managing her diabetes. But last December, doctors told her the only way to save her life was to amputate her right leg above the knee.
Okay. Do you want to have another rest, or you can do that again for me?
That's all right.
That's all right? Can we keep that head up?
At first they took one toe off. Maybe they tried to save it. But the next day when they undid the dressing, the gangrene was going up already. So they put me in straight away. They said, I have to remove your leg. I was very upset, but they had to do it.
Good. Beautiful.
And this is horrifying for me, you know, to be told that, you know, if you don't watch what you do, Gail, we're going to start cutting your limbs off. And it's all my fault then, because I didn't do the right thing. I can't blame anybody else.
This has given you a real fright, hasn't it?
Oh, it scared the bejeebies out of me. Yes, it did. Yeah.
We should be talking more about diabetes, we should be taking it seriously, and we should be saying to our governments and our community leaders, this is a serious thing.
CEO of Diabetes Australia Greg Johnson cautions that type 2 diabetes and related medical conditions are set to devour Australia's health dollar.
The cost of diabetes in Australia has been estimated at about $14.6 billion a year. Now you can break that down. It has big costs in terms of its direct cost on the health system. Every day, about a quarter to a third of all of our beds in hospitals across Australia are occupied by people with diabetes or complications of diabetes.
The federal government is working on a national diabetes strategy. Western Sydney Health has already taken action, launching its own program, linking council services, GPs, hospitals and even schools. The aim is ideally prevention, but also support and management.
We're working with developers, we're working with councils, we're working with the transport industry about increasing activity, improving food supply and zoning for better health.
Gail Smith has been shocked into action. She's lost 6 kilos so far and is determined to stay on track. Most of all, she wishes she'd listened to her doctor's warning.
2 years ago, if I took him serious, I wouldn't have had it today. Take your doctor seriously. When he says that your sugar's high, watch your diet, seriously do it. If I don't look after myself, I'll go into a coma that I won't come out of.
Tracy Bowden reporting.